You're standing at a party, and someone just walked away mid-sentence. Your chest tightens, your stomach drops, your face burns. You weren't hit, you weren't injured, you didn't fall. But your body is reacting like something terrible just happened to you physically. That's because, as far as your brain is concerned, something did. In 2003, a researcher named Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA did something deceptively simple. She put people inside brain scanners and asked them to play a computer game called Cyberball. The game was painfully basic. 3 cartoon figures on a screen tossing a ball back and forth. You controlled one of them with a mouse. At first, the other 2 players included you. They tossed you the ball, you tossed it back. Everything felt normal. Then, without warning, the other 2 stopped throwing the ball to you. They kept tossing it to each other. You just sat there, watching, excluded from something so trivial it shouldn't have mattered at all. But it mattered. Every single participant reported feeling hurt, not mildly annoyed, genuinely hurt. And when Eisenberger looked at their brain scans, she found something remarkable. The region that lit up during exclusion was the same region that lights up when you experience physical pain. The dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, the DACC. Your brain was processing social rejection through the exact same neural highway it uses when you burn your hand on a stove or stub your toe in the dark. The DACC doesn't care whether the threat is physical or emotional. It just knows something is wrong, and it makes sure you feel it. Think about that for a moment. You didn't break a bone, you didn't cut yourself. You were just left out of a cartoon ball game, but your brain treated it like a wound. Why would evolution design it this way? For most of human history, being rejected by your group meant death. Not metaphorical death, actual death. You couldn't hunt alone on the savannah. You couldn't raise children alone in the wilderness. You couldn't survive a winter alone in the cold. Social connection wasn't a luxury, it was oxygen. So your brain evolved a system that made rejection feel terrible enough to prevent you from doing things that would get you cast out. The same alarm system that screams when you touch fire now screams when you're excluded from the group. Pain is a signal that something threatens your survival. Your brain decided long ago that social pain and physical pain are the same kind of threat. In 2011, a psychologist named C. Nathan DeWall decided to test this overlap in an unexpected way. He ran a study where participants took acetaminophen, the active ingredient in Tylenol, every day for 3 weeks. Not because they had headaches, because he wanted to see if painkillers could reduce social pain. And they did. Participants who took the painkiller reported fewer hurt feelings over the course of the study. They described everyday social slights as less painful. And when DeWall scanned their brains, the DACC showed less activation during exclusion tasks. A drug designed for physical pain had dulled the sting of social pain. That's how deeply wired the connection is. Your social pain and your physical pain share neural infrastructure. They're not similar by metaphor, they're similar by biology. Kipling Williams, a psychologist who has spent decades studying ostracism, found that even rejection from strangers you'll never see again produces this effect. He documented cases where being ignored by a researcher's assistant for 2 minutes led to drops in self-esteem, feelings of meaninglessness, and diminished sense of control. 2 minutes, from someone they'd never met before, someone whose opinion had no real consequence in their lives. But your brain doesn't calculate consequence, it just hears the alarm. This is why breakups feel like they're crushing your chest, why being ghosted makes you physically nauseous, why being the last one picked for a team in gym class still stings 30 years later, why your heart can race when you see that your message was read but not replied to. You're not being dramatic, you're not being weak. Your brain is executing the same survival program it would activate if you were bleeding. Here's the part that makes this even more unsettling. Your brain can't actually tell the difference between social exclusion and social evaluation. Eisenberger found that merely anticipating rejection activates the same pathways. You don't even have to be rejected for the alarm to go off. You just have to believe it might happen, walking into a room full of strangers, sitting down at a lunch table where no one saved you a seat, waiting for a text back that takes an hour too long. Your brain is running threat detection constantly, scanning for signs that you might be cast out. And every time it finds a signal, real or imagined, it pulls the fire alarm. This is why people-pleasing feels so urgent, why you replay embarrassing moments at 3 in the morning, why you scan someone's face for micro-expressions after saying something vulnerable, why we need to talk, can make your entire body go cold before a single word of context arrives. Your DACC is already sounding the alarm, already mobilizing the pain response, before your conscious mind has any idea what's happening. But here's the counterintuitive part that most people miss. The very system that makes rejection so painful is the same system that makes connection feel so good. Eisenberger and her colleagues found that when people felt included, when they felt seen and valued and connected, the brain released endogenous opioids, your own natural painkillers. The same chemicals that dull physical pain also flow through you when someone holds your hand, when a friend remembers something small you told them, when someone laughs at your joke and means it. Social connection is literally analgesic. It numbs the pain of being human. This is why loneliness is not just sadness. It's chronic pain without a source you can point to. Your brain is running the rejection alarm continuously, with no incoming signal to shut it off. The World Health Organization has linked chronic loneliness to increased inflammation, weakened immune function, and higher mortality risk. Your body treats the absence of connection the same way it treats an open wound, because, in a sense, it is one. So the next time you feel a sting when someone cancels plans, when you're left out of a group chat, when a stranger doesn't hold the door, when a coworker speaks over you in a meeting, recognize what's happening. Your brain is not overreacting. It is executing a program written over hundreds of thousands of years. A program designed to keep you alive by keeping you connected. The pain you feel is real. It is neurological. It is ancient. And it is not a flaw. It's the cost of belonging to a species that can only survive together. You weren't built to feel nothing when someone walks away. You were built to feel enough pain to make sure you never stop reaching back. That tightness in your chest when someone leaves without saying goodbye, that's not weakness. That's your brain telling you that connection is the most important thing you have, and it will fight to protect it with everything it's got, even if everything it's got is pain.